Have you dreamed of bigger things for your life? Then you are in the right place. Each week, you will be given tips on how to change your inner dialogue, conquer your goals, and ways to step into a higher version of yourself. I'm your host, Lauren Kubat. I'm a motivational speaker who hosts personal development events. I'm a sought-after fitness instructor, a wife, and a mom of 2 young boys. I'm obsessed with all things personal development, and I believe anyone can achieve the life they want. Let the Become Your Vision podcast be the inspiration you need to step into greater things. Now let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I have my husband on the show again, Tom Kubat. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me in my own home.
You seem so excited.
I am.
The last time he was on the show was February 10th, so about 5 months ago. So has anything changed in the past 5 months that you can think of?
Since February, I'm sure a lot of things have changed, but I have a terrible memory, so I'll say that nothing major, right? Kids are still happy and healthy, still working from home, loving it.
Yeah, just the boys. Well, Ollie started school this week.
Yeah, Ollie started school.
Charlie's you want to explain what Charlie's going through? Charlie's our 2-year-old, our youngest.
Yeah, Charlie's going through some terrible 2 stuff that Ollie didn't go through, so.
He went through terrible 3s.
Yeah, but still I don't remember it being this bad, so. Things are different, but mostly
the same.
Which is good, because things were good in February and things are good now, I think.
That is true. So this is episode 55. What does it feel like to have edited 55 episodes? It's
not bad. Editing these podcasts are not hard to do compared to the editing that I usually do. It's just the frequency. One week is a lot, but we fit it in.
There are times when he wants to go out, go flying, his paramotor. You haven't listened to that episode, go back. It was listed in February. I don't even know what number it was. Right before Valentine's Day, I think. But he flies a paramotor, and sometimes he wants to go out, and I'm like, I need this episode edited. Can you do it now? Because we haven't missed a Wednesday of posting episodes. Monday is always a bonus episode, so if I post one on Monday, I like to, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So Can you explain kind of the videos that you edit?
Yeah, so I edit my own videos I have a YouTube channel where I fly my paramotor around and talk about various things. Sometimes I'm reviewing different paramotor gear. I'm fortunate enough to have a sponsor, and so I get to try a lot of new gear and get some pretty cool opportunities in the sport that most people don't. So I edit those kind of videos, and it's pretty enjoyable for me because I'm not on any kind of schedule, and I can just be artistic with it and edit what I like, and it's fun.
So it's not an OnlyFans page?
Technically it is OnlyFans, get it?
That is true.
OnlyFans, because it's a big fan on my back.
Oh, now you're going to use that as content.
I've already thought about that.
Really?
Yeah, I just need to figure out how to fit it in.
Oh my gosh, I thought
Someone said it to me the other day. I was like, OnlyFans?
That's hilarious. Yeah. If you're not familiar with OnlyFans, I don't know, you're living under a rock or something.
And a paramotor is a wing with a big fan on my back, basically.
Google it.
Yeah.
Or YouTube.
Just Google my name, Tom Kubat. You'll see. That's what comes up.
Tom or Thomas?
No, if you Google Tom Kubat, my
Kubat.
channel will pop up immediately.
Why do you think you pronounce Kubat and your brother pronounces it Kubat?
I don't know. Is this good content? Is what people want to hear? Why me and my brother pronounce things differently? Back when I was 5.
Okay, we'll carry on. So this episode is going to be kind of about relationship, kids, couple random things, because that's just kind of how I am, is random. But before I ask you some more questions, I want to share that I will be having an in-person event coming up soon, most likely September. It's a Become Your Vision event, women's conference. How would you describe this event to people?
Well, I attended the event, but not as a spectator. I was filming, doing the audio and the video for it, for you. But I told you this, but for the listeners, I was so impressed, and I couldn't believe it. The work that you put into it and see it all come together, it was truly impressive. And I've known you since we were in high school, so I've known you through all your awkward phases. I've known you when you were shy, before you even went to the gym one time, right? So I've seen you grow up from all of that to that event, and it was kind of like the pinnacle. It was pretty cool to see, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, if you're asking what it was like, the women there, even the men, everyone seemed like they were having an awesome time. People were smiling. You can go back and look at the little video that I edited for you. It's just, I mean, everyone's so happy, and you shared some cool stories, had some cool guest speakers. It was awesome. I couldn't believe you threw that together. So
we're going to do that again soon. I'm super excited. I'm changing my mindset around this one. Instead of saying like I'm nervous, which tends to be a normal emotion of me, or anxious, and living up to certain expectations that I create in my head. Instead of saying I'm nervous, I'm just going to say I'm excited. That is like one of my goals for me, is saying I'm excited, because truly I am. And I want to focus my energy on it being amazing, because I truly think it's going to be. It's full of inspiration, empowerment. There's breakthroughs with workshops. I usually hire a DJ, sponsors, giveaways, just super high energy. And the people that are coming to a women's conference are generally good people. So stay tuned for that. Super excited. Okay, let's get into why. So some people ask us, like, so are you done it too? Are you going to go for the girl? What's your reply to that?
Absolutely not. Or my reply is, you can have as many kids you want, but not with me.
And that's a terrible...
That's my honest reply. That's what I say. But no, no, we're done with kids, I think. And we agree on this. But yeah, 2 is plenty. And it's not a selfish thing. We've discussed this, but for me anyways, it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay, both the kids, I watched you give birth to both of them, so part of me feels bad asking you to do that again, because it was rough. You had the 3rd pregnancy, which was technically the 2nd. That ended rough. And every time, or both times you were pregnant, I was worried the entire time. It's just pure anxiety. And now that we have kids, it's also anxiety. But it's a roll of the dice. You don't know what you're going to get. And I feel like we hit the lottery both times with both boys. And trying to do that for a 3rd one, I feel like, and I'm not superstitious, but I feel like we're just going to run out of luck.
Yeah. Or,
the possibility. And we have 2 happy, healthy, beautiful kids, boys. I'm so happy right now. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to push it. I feel happy. We can afford 2 kids very well. We can afford to spoil them and do vacations with them and everything. And so it's just, I think everything's great. So I'm happy.
And you're fixed.
Yeah, well,
that's another
physically, we also cannot do it. Thank you for bringing that
up. We made that choice. I think 2 is manageable for us. Tom has, hobbies and things that he likes to do outside of, family time and time as a couple. And I have aspirations for my own life too. And it is really hard to raise kids. And I feel like if we did have a 3rd, it would stretch us really thin in our patience, and I would have to get a minivan, and I'm just not into that life.
That'd be a good thing to do.
I cannot do the minivan. Kind of going back to what you said, I talked about this on the episode before, but maybe this is just kind of what I came up with on the spot, but what was it like for you, your point of view with the miscarriage and kind of how it went down? Let's first talk about maybe, so Ollie is our oldest 4, and then we got pregnant. We got pregnant in, I think, December. We found out in December.
So funny you just said he.
13 months later.
You assume it was a boy.
Maybe. Well, I think I was referring to Ollie.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so he was 13 months. 13 months. So we got pregnant when he was 13 months. We wanted to have the kids a year apart. And then, so we went to the doctor. We had Ollie with us. Can you kind of describe, because I was completely oblivious and thrown off guard.
Yeah. Okay, so when we went to the doctor and found out, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's just standard appointment
It was our first one, 11 weeks.
Yeah, but we've been through them before, so 11 weeks, go there, get the ultrasound. And I knew right away because I saw the ultrasound. I could just tell. I could see the ultrasound. I couldn't see anything. Mm-hmm. And I from going with Ollie to all those ultrasounds, I knew what it looked like. And I saw her hunting around and not saying anything, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
She's not seeing anything. And then I started preparing for, okay, it's a miscarriage. What do I do? How do I help you? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I kind of, it was rough to watch because I had to watch you discover it because I already knew.
Right.
So I knew miscarriage, and I'm watching you, and I'm like, what?
I'm not getting it.
You're not getting, you weren't understanding. And then she was kind of, I forget what she said exactly, but she was like, oh, you know, I honestly don't even remember what she said, but I know that she didn't beat around the bush, but she didn't just jump and say, oh, you had a miscarriage. It was, right. She tried to ease you into it as a professional would. I'm sure she's done that many times, had to, unfortunately. But, yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
And then it was crying and you were sad, but it was early on, so, you know.
Right.
I don't know if it's any easier or not, but, right, it's just.
Yeah.
It's not.
It would have been harder if I felt the baby kick or things like that, I'm sure. Yeah. And then there was, you know, huge aftermath about that.
Yes, and I want to go into the actual miscarriage.
Yeah, so took the medicine because my body didn't process this. Did that whole episode.
Yeah, they gave us the choice. They said, do you want to have it happen naturally or take the medicine to have it happen?
3 choices, really, because then I could have had a DNC in the hospital.
They go in and take it out?
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously you didn't go with the let it happen naturally because you were working and things like that, and you didn't. It could happen whenever. So
it was anxiety filled.
Yeah, anxiety, and you had to be sitting home waiting for it because it could just happen when you were out.
Right.
And they said it could be.
It could have been with Ollie at the grocery, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so you took the medicine, and they said, you know, it happens within X amount of time, so we were prepared for that. And the actual event was rough. So you took the medicine. We didn't know what to expect. Went to bed. You woke up in the middle of the night, like, oh, it's happening, and you ran to the bathroom and. Jeez, now I'm thinking about it. I don't even know. Okay, so you ran to the bathroom, and what happened?
I was on the toilet, and I was like, I'm dizzy.
No, because before that, you were bleeding onto the floor.
Yeah.
This is kind of graphic, sorry. But you're bleeding onto the floor, like, everywhere.
Right.
Making a big mess. And you said, I need a towel, and I said, okay, I just... I had just washed these garage towels.
Yeah.
And I put them on the table downstairs to take out to the garage. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll run downstairs and grab a garage towel.
Yeah.
Just throwaway towels. And I'm running down the stairs to grab the towel. I grab the towel, and I just hear, I still have PTSD about this, but I hear this just horrible thud. And in our house, like, even when the kids were around, you can hear it. It's very loud. So this thud, and you can just tell it was a body hitting the floor. And, I mean, all the pictures shook, everything, and I knew what it was. And I was like, oh, my God. So I sprinted upstairs, and you were face down on the tile in a pool of blood. And it was your blood. It was the blood from the miscarriage. And I don't do good with blood.
Yeah.
Like, with people I love. I can look at blood from other people, but if it's someone I care about, for whatever reason, blood makes me just freaking... Oh, I just get real lightheaded. I go pale, and then I can't. You know what I mean? And
it was a sight to see.
I pick you up off the floor, and I see all your teeth missing, and I'm like, oh my God. Now I can't mention that you fell on your face and knocked your teeth out.
Well, I said, hey, did something happen to my teeth?
Yeah, I did something happen to my teeth, and one of your teeth was cracked, and the other ones were all loose, and I was like, oh my God. And meanwhile, I'm slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
It's a murder scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what you asked me to explain.
I mean, it's a little graphic.
Well, dude, this is what I experienced.
Yeah, right.
What I experienced.
No, you're right.
And I'm falling over because
He's woozy.
Yeah, I'm woozy. I can't stand up. And it's just, oh my God, it was just a nightmare. And after that, I don't know what happened. I know we likely just cleaned up and...
We went to the hospital.
Oh, we went right to the hospital.
And Allie was with you in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was flu season, so you guys couldn't come in.
That's what it was.
This was...
Well, we sat outside
2018, so pre-COVID.
The emergency room. That's
yes.
Right.
And it was like... Because we didn't have family here at the time, and it was like... I don't know, 2 a.m, 3 a.m. So you had to wake them up, take me to the hospital. I went in. They did an x-ray, found part of my tooth in my lip.
Oh, yeah.
So it was crazy. Ugh. Yeah. It was
rough. Yeah.
It was rough, but I didn't know your experience. I guess what was the hardest part for you during all of that? Like, was it the initial, like, you found out that we lost the baby, or?
If I'm honest, I was sad about that,
Yeah.
obviously, but I didn't have like a connection probably like you did. That's just the truth.
Right.
I mean, I talk about this a lot, but like even when you first have the baby, there's this weird like gap where you're looking for this connection that people tell you about. They're like, oh my God, you've never been so in love in your life. And then you have the baby and you're like, what's wrong with me? Like, I love this baby, but I don't.
You have an instant love, but the bond is
you feel like there
like
should be more, and there isn't, and then you feel bad, and then it hits you later, and you're like, okay, this is what people are talking about.
Okay.
Where you're just absolutely in love. So, anyway, my experience was less about the baby and more about you, and maybe it would have been different if
it was our first.
it didn't. Well, no, if it didn't happen to you, if you just had the miscarriage,
right,
and you were fine.
Yeah.
Then I'd have been probably more sad about it, but it was just it was overshadowed by what I saw you go through. So that was what my brain focused on, I guess.
Yeah. So listeners, I don't know if that was a little bit too much for you, but I think it's a normal.
That's real talk.
That is real talk for sure. Okay, so let's go into, so what do you do for a living and your hobby? We talked about this prior, so if you want to do like a quick little thing.
Yep. Okay, so for a living, I work for a company called Cummins. And they do diesel engines. If anybody has a Dodge Ram truck with a diesel in it, it's a Cummins engine, but that's a small part of our business. Most of what we do is on-highway stuff, and so all the semi-trucks you see driving down the road, probably 90% of them have a turbocharger that was built in the plant where I work, or used to work. Now I work from home, but so I'm a mechanical engineer for them, and my hobby is, outside of family stuff, it is aviation. So I love to fly. I fly my paramotor. It's a little ultralight aircraft that I own, keep in the garage, and then throw it in the back of the truck and go fly around wherever I want. Actually just flew yesterday, and I'm flying tomorrow morning, and I can't wait.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
When you tell people that, they're like, oh my gosh, like they think it's so crazy.
That's what's cool about it. It has the illusion of being like risky.
It is, but I feel like everything you've done, you always play it out to be, it's not as risky as you think. Flying an airplane or motorcycle or dirt bikes.
So there's risk involved, but the perception usually is that the risk is higher than it is. Right? Yeah. If you're uneducated about something and you can't understand it, then you perceive the risk to be higher than it is.
What are some of the like accidents that happen or risks?
It's all pilot error stuff. So, I mean, there is occasional, right? This is the risk.
Turbulence.
Well, yeah, but turbulence, if you're flying in turbulence that can knock you out of the air most of the time, and I have this one event in my head, but I won't get into it, but most of the time, if you're flying in air that can knock you out of the sky, and looking at you, actually talking to you, you shouldn't have been flying. You should have done more research on the weather.
Right.
Now, there are anomalies. They're very, very rare. Very rare. But if you're flying in air like that, you shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. That's pilot error.
Yeah.
If you start the motor on the ground, you chop yourself up, pilot error. You shouldn't do that. Start the motor while it's on your back or on a rack. And the list goes on.
And he's known people where things have happened.
I've known people that
What
have
about
died.
telephone lines?
Oh, power lines. That's a big one. People fly because
is it telephone anymore?
Yeah, it's telephone lines. Yeah, it is.
Like landlines?
Well, they're called power lines, telephone lines. People call them whatever. It used to be telephones. Now it's just electricity.
Yeah.
And landlines, but most of electricity. Anyway, we are getting off, man. Yeah, power lines are a big one. I've got buddies that have flown into power lines. Obviously, because we don't have to fly above 500 feet like most aircraft. We can fly as low as we want. So we can fly at the trees, lower than the trees, drag our foot on the ground, or fly up to 10,000 feet if we want, over the clouds and hang out. So yeah, power lines are a big one. You can't see them from the air because they blend in with the ground. So yeah, I've got a couple of buddies that have hit power lines.
But you usually can
fog. You can't fly in fog, so you would never do that. It's not a risk.
Haven't you before?
No, it's not a risk. That's illegal. I've never done that before.
Okay, it is documented that he is not. Okay, so we met. I was 16. You were 17. We've been together a long time, since 2006. So what is that? 15 years.
Yep.
Why or how do you think our relationship works? Like, what do you think we have in place? I want to hear your answer of why we work.
Why we work. I don't know. I think it's probably a simpler answer than you're hoping for, but I think that we love each other and we're lucky about that.
Yeah.
And I think that I think we're physically attracted to each other. Mm-hmm. At least I'm attracted to you.
Attracted to you.
But that's a big one, I think, and I almost don't want to say this, but I feel like, I mean, I told you about this before, like, you know people where you know that you have a feeling maybe they're not attracted to their spouse.
Right.
And I think about that, man, if I wasn't attracted to you, I would feel trapped maybe,
Yeah.
And this is how my mind works for listeners. I'm not an asshole. That's like what I think about, and I feel bad for people.
I think that's a normal thing that most people don't talk about.
Yeah, and I feel like, if you were in a position like that, I see why people fall out of love or feel trapped or cheat or do horrible things, just because, you're not happy anymore. And I think physical attraction is a big part of it. I think another big part of it is that we have our own interests. Mm-hmm. I mean, we really do. We have similar interests in our, like, vacations and our kids, and we love spending time together and anything like that. But, like, I like flying. You could care less about it.
Right.
We both like exercise, but you have your vision stuff and all that, and we just have we're totally invested in something beside each other. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sitting around staring at you, waiting for you to entertain me, and vice versa.
Right. I was gonna say, I think what helps too is, especially with the kids, I guess it didn't really matter prior to them, but, like, we have a system in place as far as, like, anytime I need something, Tom is always like, yeah, go ahead, go get your nails done, go, to dinner with one of your girlfriends, or, go on a girls trip or whatever. So I think that is really helpful too. There's never, like, a pushback, at least from you. Usually any pushback is usually from me. When he says, like, can I go fly? I'm like, because I'm with the kids a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I think that's, we both understand that we both have other things outside of our household that, brings us joy. So I think respecting that too, is really helpful.
Yeah. And I think luck too. We're just lucky. I mean, we could have met and then.
But relationships require work as well too.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm saying that you need to initially find the right person.
Yeah.
And we found each other early on.
Right.
So lucky.
Yeah. And I think you get better with age. I think we both do.
In general, people do, you mean?
I think us.
Yeah, no one else does. Sucks.
At least, I was talking about you, actually. I think, like, you've gotten better in age. Like, seeing you as a father, I think you've changed as obviously more mature. That comes with age. Same with me. I think you've become, also, I feel like, more romantic and intentional about, like, surprising me and stuff like that than what you did, maybe when you were younger.
Sure.
You don't feel that way?
I don't know. I feel like I've been...
Again, he has a terrible memory, so he can't
remember. I remember how unromantic and terrible.
I did not say you were unromantic. I'm just saying you get better. That's a compliment.
Thank you, yes.
Tom has a hard time taking compliments, too.
Yes.
What qualities, like, if a woman is listening, and they're trying to maybe find a spouse or whatever, what do you, from a male's point of view, what makes a woman attractive?
I don't know. This is a bad question for me. I don't know.
Really?
What makes a woman attractive to me?
Like, what is a quality that most men like in a woman?
I don't know what most men want. I could not tell you at all.
What qualities do you like in a woman?
What do I like? I like you. I mean, I like confidence. That's if I had to boil it down, it'd be I like confidence. I don't like people that are insecure. That's a people thing. Women, men, everything.
Yeah.
I like confidence and I like honesty.
Yeah.
Those are the two big ones. I don't like when people are insecure about. I mean, I can understand it, but I like to see somebody confident in what they do and how they act and. Yeah.
When we first met, I wouldn't characterize myself as confident or, secure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have answered this question the same back then either, probably, right?
Was that something that bothered you then?
No, it didn't. But that's what I'm saying. You'd ask me this question back then when you were like that, I would have probably answered it differently. This is what I value now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. What is, that's kind of like a personal one, but what's a pet peeve of yours?
Just in general?
Yeah.
I don't like messes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have, crumbs on the counter. I don't know what is that what you're asking me?
Are you directing this at me?
I mean, no.
I'm a clean person.
You're a clean person, but I'm like a very neat, like I like things, you're asking me.
I know.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm
not giving him the dagger. I'm interested to see what his response.
Yeah, and I did not know these questions were coming prior to this interview. But
you shouldn't.
Yeah, so, just probably a pet peeve of mine is cleanliness.
Yeah.
I like things really clean and
now
organized.
Listeners are going to think I'm dirty.
They're not. You're not dirty, but you may leave things out from time to time or put things away randomly when I think, right? Like I think maybe something should go on this shelf. This comes off bad for me, not anyone else.
I don't think
like, I like things, I'm like, ooh, you just knock stuff off the shelf.
Maybe I am getting angry. No.
Stuff like, I want the ketchup on this shelf all the time. And you'll put
Is that a thing? I didn't know about the ketchup.
It's not the ketchup. I'm giving you examples.
It's the butter.
The butter. Oh, the butter gets messy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like a butter container, and every time I pick up the top of the butter, it's somehow covered in butter. Which I know I did not do.
My thing is, okay, when I have the kids, I do everything very quick to avoid... You just looked at my boobs.
Sorry. I did.
I'm like, that was so like...
I totally did.
Like with the boys, I try to do everything super quick. So like to avoid a meltdown. So me, it's like, what is the quickest way I can do this? Spread butter on their bread without them being a thing. I
understand why, but it's still a pet peeve of mine.
Hey, before we get back into the show, I want to ask you a question. And that is, are you looking for a convenient, affordable, and most importantly, fun workout that you can do wherever and whenever? Then I need to tell you about Bar Where You Are's on-demand workouts. So my girlfriend and fellow boss babe, Heather McWright, has created an amazing online platform with more than 100 different bar, yoga, and dance cardio workouts that are available at the touch of your fingertips. Whether you prefer working out at home, you're planning on going on vacation and don't want to stop your fitness routine, then Bar Where You Are is just what you need. So they have these workouts ranging from 15 minutes to an hour, and they literally have everything that you need. And lucky for you, Become Your Vision listeners are getting access to 10% off your first month. All you have to do is head to barwhereyouaresc.com/online workouts. Click subscribe now and enter promo code Become Your Vision for 10% off your first month. I will leave that in the show notes, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Okay, what would you say is the hardest part about raising kids?
Man, what a question. The hardest part of raising kids is the worry that you're doing it wrong. That's what I think. Aside from the physical stuff like no sleep and things like that, which you expect, the hardest part is messing up.
Yeah.
And worrying that you're messing the kid up.
Yeah.
As a result of you doing something wrong.
Right.
That's how I feel anyway. Do
you think, or maybe just in our case, I have more mom guilt than you have dad guilt?
Yeah, I mean, you express more, for sure. I usually don't feel guilty about what I do, and if I do, I mean, I openly tell the kids I'm sorry. Like, I yelled at Ali the other day, and I yelled at him for something he didn't even do. I misinterpreted something he did, and he said, Dad, I did, and I was like, oh my God, and I yelled at him. So I immediately said, look, bud, Daddy messed up.
Yeah.
Looked him right in the eye, and I said, I am sorry, and I hugged him, and I was like, I shouldn't have yelled at you. That was a mistake. Daddy's fault.
Yeah.
So those little incidents I can pick up on, but it's the bigger ones. It's like the systemic things you worry about that you don't know you're doing.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm doing something
that we're going to find out
Yeah,
later.
you find out later, like, oh, and for sure we are.
Yeah.
For sure we're doing something where you're going to find out later, I'm like, well, that was not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't have any guilt like I'm doing anything wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can. Maybe, right? I could do better. I could always do better.
We can always.
I could maybe spend less on my phone, or, you know, and when I mean, so I'm not saying there's not room for improvement, but I'm not doing anything with any ill intent. That's for sure. So
I think that's a thing. Like, I posted on my social media the other day, like I was really intentional about taking the kids outside, leaving my phone inside, because phones are addictive. Like, they're meant to be addictive, right? Mm-hmm. There are, there's science right behind of making them addictive. I'm looking at him, he's like the science guy, I feel like. Yeah. But yeah, there's a method to, having us, the consumer, spend time on our phones. So, and then I think too, like, our generation, like when growing up, it's like whatever my parents wanted to watch, it was on the TV. Like, now I feel like it's different. Whatever the kids want is on the TV, and then we're on our phones rather than like watching the TV or whatever. Our kids have tablets, but they don't really use them all that much.
They don't really like them.
Yeah, they're not really into them. So we do have the TV, but yeah, I guess the mom guilt for me comes from, like, if I feel like I'm not spending, like, I'm physically present, but not necessarily mentally there, and then I feel like I should be, like, there's guilt, but I don't know. I would like to hear from listeners what your thoughts are. Like, I think it's normal to obviously not be fully present mentally all the time, because we're humans and we have other thoughts and other things that we want to be doing. Like, I think about us in, like, our relationship, or if I'm hanging out with somebody else or whatever, of course we have other thoughts while we are hanging out with that person. Mm-hmm. So I feel like how hanging out with our kids is no different, but they also, the attention they require from us is different.
It's a lot. I don't know if it's more than other kids. There's only 2 kids I've raised, but yeah, it seems like they don't do their own thing. They don't, like,
that's what
sit
I was
around
say.
And, like, color or like play with their toy. Like, if you're around them, they need you to be engaged. Ollie
especially. I think Charlie can do a little bit more on his own.
And when they're split up, it's a little easier too, for whatever reason. They're 2
and 4, and they fight.
When you split them up, but even when you split them up, they do their own thing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I had Charlie upstairs by himself. He was just sitting around watching TV. Then he was playing with a toy for a while, and he was relaxing while I was working. Yeah. And when they're together, that's a different thing. They're at each other all the time. Yeah. So maybe that's a result of something we did. You never know, right? Or maybe they're just
brothers, and that's I hope that's what they do. I mean, I remember fighting with my siblings all the time growing up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This question comes from a listener. Why do you hate sand so much?
That did not come from a listener.
Swear to God.
Swear to God?
Yeah.
A listener that I know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is it?
Answer the question, and then I will tell you.
So this is fun. So I don't hate sand. I hate sand and kids together. The mixture of that drives me crazy. I spend a decent amount of time at the beach, more than you, because I fly at the beach a lot.
I would go and lay out at the beach.
Yeah, that's the most boring thing. Sitting at the beach, I can't think of a worse time. I've never wanted to sit on the beach and do nothing in my life. It's horrible. It's torture. And then you add kids to it, putting sand in their mouths and getting in their eyes and in every crevice of everything you have brought to the beach. No, horrible time.
In the car,
yeah. But if I go to the beach and I get sand in my truck, I don't mind at all, because it's confined to the mat on the car. I can just vacuum it out when I get home. There's no sand anywhere where it doesn't belong.
Oh my gosh.
That's why.
Who do you think asked that question?
I forget I can't remember now.
It was Megan.
Meg. Meg Rye.
Meg Rye.
This came from a listener. So yeah. Brian and Meg, for those that don't know, are like our best friends for...
We met them in college.
High school.
That's what I meant to say. High school. They started dating like 7 days after we started dating.
And they're married. We're married.
Yeah.
We love them.
They live in Arizona.
So damn much. It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. They're really good people. We love you, Brian and Meg, if you're listening. I know Meg might, maybe not Brian. Be wrong. I was going to say, tell the listeners the story about that time we went to the beach with both kids. Do you remember this?
I do. I probably don't know the details that you're wanting because my memory is bad. I hit my head a lot. I can tell the listeners about that.
He's had a lot of concussions.
But this is where it started. So we went to the beach with 2 kids, and they were young, and it's just classic. It was like a comedy skit.
Oh my God, I was dying.
On the ground. It's like 95 degrees, and there's a billion people at the beach.
We had an umbrella.
Okay. We had an umbrella, so...
I mean, I don't want them to think like our kids were
Oh, okay. Don't worry about what people think so much. The kids were not being sunburned, okay? Y'all worried about you call it child services on us? No. Okay, yes, we had an umbrella. The kids were safe. They were not being sucked out by riptides. Seagulls were not attacking them. Kids were fine. But they were in the sand. They were like getting sand in their mouth, throwing sand in the hair. Sand in the bags that we brought.
Us idiots brought a damn stroller.
95 degrees or hotter. Hundreds of people and beach people. Like, you know what I mean? These folks that you see.
Are they the same as
God.
Like what is it? Like fair folks?
Yeah,
they're not as bad as
just
fair
take
folks.
a chunk of the general population, take their shirts off and put them on the beach. And that's what you see. It's just rough. And everyone's bumping into everyone. It's crowded, and then we decided to leave. And the sand is hot. I can't get the stroller out of the beach. The kids are throwing a fit, screaming at the top of their lungs. They're doing the thing where you can't pick them up. They put their hands over their heads.
They
slide
go
out,
dead weight.
Dead weight, and I'm dragging a stroller that's packed to the brim, full of bags through sand. And a kid, and I'm sweating.
We
and
had both of them at the time. I think I had Charlie in my hand, or Charlie in my arm.
They were screaming.
He was a baby.
People were laughing.
I was okay. So let me my point of view. I was like, okay, we're gonna have a family day. This was the second time we only went to the beach. The first time we went to the beach when we first moved to South Carolina, Charleston area. Ollie was like 6 months. It had been a solid year, maybe a year and a half since we went to the beach again. Okay, let's have a family beach day. Again, and I was like, I know Tom doesn't like to go with the kids, but I was like, okay, we're at a different beach. But as at the beach, there was another couple with their 2 boys, and then she was pregnant with their 3rd boy, I believe, or they didn't know what the 3rd was. And they were loving the sand, throwing the sand at each other, building sand castles, like just super chill parents. And I think maybe sometimes our parenting style is not as chill. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Also, kids are different too.
Kids are different for sure. But so we see these like this fairy tale scene of what it's like to bring your kids to the beach, and then here we go leaving the beach. Charlie didn't nap. I remember that. He wasn't napping, so he started screaming, and then Ollie was younger, toddler, whatever. So then you're in front of me with like the stroller, the umbrella, the wagon, like all this shit that we had to bring. Ollie is going dead weight, screaming. It's hot, and I just started
dragging the stroller sideways because the wheels didn't turn.
The wheels didn't turn. We brought our normal stroller to the beach. Okay, that was a dumb idea. Obviously, we don't do it much, so we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And it was just a scene from like a movie or something. And then you're like, you wanted to scream. It was just funny. Yeah. But yeah, so who knows? We'll probably go to the beach when the kids are like 7 and 9, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. Yeah. When do you feel most like you?
Most like me. Probably when I'm hanging with the boys and you, when I'm home. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty much me everywhere, to be honest with you. I don't really... I'd say the least like me is when I'm at work.
Right.
And I'm more like myself than I think most people are in a corporate environment. I think most people in a corporate environment are fake. You're talking to someone even on Zoom, anything, right to their face even, and that's not who they really are. It's just this fake world where everyone acts different than they are. I won't get any further into it, but yeah, I mean, anyone that works in corporate America knows everyone just acts there. That no one can speak their mind for real. Anyway, so yeah, that's when I least feel like myself. So anywhere outside of that, really, I can pretty much be myself.
Yeah.
And most of all at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is nice that you can obviously
be
yourself at home. You know?
Yeah.
So there are fireworks going off right now. It is the 4th of July. So if you hear that in the background, that's what it is. Today was kind of a weird day, wouldn't you have said?
I'm sure more for you.
Yeah. So today was the 6-year anniversary of my older brother Chris's death. He committed suicide on 4th of July. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was obviously probably like sad in the back of my head subconsciously. But it's not a day that I'm like, oh my God, dreading, because I know it happened. I know it's here. I know it's coming. But it was weird that you could tell something was kind of off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I asked you a bunch of times what was going on, and then you reminded me. I knew it was 4th of July, and I knew that's when it happened, but just the day I woke up, I didn't think about it. And then,
maybe, too, lately I've been, like, in this stage where I constantly have to be doing something, or my mind has to be on something without slipping into, like, a little funk.
I think we're similar in that respect. When we don't have something to do, it's just sitting around. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Like a lazy Sunday is not a great thing for me. I like a Sunday at home.
Right.
But I like to be doing something. Even today, like, what was the first thing I did this morning?
Mowed the lawn.
Yeah, I got up, we're sitting around like, this is lame. I took the kids outside and mowed the lawn, did some yard work, hung out outside. I'm like,
we're constantly doing something, so when we aren't doing something, it is weird. And, like, most of the time I want to sleep. Like, I take a nap or whatever, which I did. But, like, otherwise, like, I have to be doing something. Like, it's nice and relaxing, but you can't really do nothing with kids either. They have to be entertained.
Yeah.
Or they get at each other's throats. But, yesterday we went to my mom's. Your mom was there, celebrated her birthday. So that's kind of was like our 4th of July kind of like celebration. And, stepdad was there. It was a good time. But we decided, our friend's girlfriend was sick. So they were going to come over. But, it was just, we decided not to go out because what was our reasoning?
When?
Today.
I don't remember. Oh, people were going to be out. Yeah.
People were going to be out.
Yeah.
We can't be the only ones that are like, we just don't want to be in a mosh pit of people and lines, or in traffic or in the heat or...
Yeah, it was hot and it was 4th of July weekend. People were going to be out.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable reason to stay home.
I think that, it is. But then it's like, oh, we didn't do anything on the 4th. But technically, I feel like yesterday was our 4th.
Yeah, we went to your mom's, had a barbecue, hung out with family.
Yeah.
I left a little early, went to fly. It was a great day.
It was fun. Yes. Oh, my God. My mom tried to give the boys Coke.
Yeah. Not cocaine.
No.
Got to mention this.
Yes, Coca-Cola. I'm like, Mom, what the hell are you doing? Like, we could give our kids, they have plenty of sugar. I think a lot of times they're like, oh, do you let your kids eat this? Do you let them eat goldfish? Or I'm like, yes. They like the first thing they eat in the morning is like
we didn't let our kids eat
waffle.
goldfish for the first month they were alive.
Yeah,
and then
that's about it. Exactly. But it's like, I don't know if it's from Instagram or because we are so into health and fitness that they think that we don't let our kids, they eat more processed foods than
we would like to.
We would like to, yeah. But we're conscientious about like what they drink. Like we don't usually, it's rare that they have juice.
No pop, no juice.
I don't think they've ever had pop. They get McDonald's usually for my mom every time she comes.
Yeah, and they barely even eat it though. So
that's true.
Yeah, they're healthy kids.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I digress. I don't know why that was important. I went off on a tangent there. Let's see. What do you love most about me?
Jeez. I love that you're a good mom to the boys. I think I think that there are people that are not good moms, so I recognize that and respect it, so that makes me happy. And I like that you're a driven person because, again, you asked me it was kind of a similar question. Yeah. What do I like in a woman or a person? And I like driven people with goals. I don't like lazy people. Yeah. I don't like people that, man, I'm getting worked up because I'm thinking about someone. Yeah. I don't like people that feel bad for themselves and tell people about their problems and post crap on Facebook. Oh, look, this happened to me today, and that stuff really bothers me. So, but I don't see any of those qualities in you, and I like that a lot. I think that you're a confident, driven person and a good mom. And that's what I like about you.
Thank you. And I'll finish today. I don't know if anybody's going to get any, I don't know. This is more like an entertainment episode, how our relationship works. Maybe they can apply this to their personal life, because every time you tune into the show, I want you to obviously get something out of this, and maybe apply it to your relationship. But openly talking about what you love about the person, I think, is very beneficial.
And we never do that. Except for on this podcast.
Not true.
I'm just kidding. No.
Oh my gosh. What I love about you, and this has changed over time, I feel like lately, like just like surprising me. I think that is super, super sweet. Like just when you surprise me, I believe wholeheartedly that you are such a loyal person, which I think is very honorable, because anytime like anybody like crosses me or anything, you're like the first person to have my back, which is amazing, because we all want somebody and need somebody to have, I guess not necessarily need, but it's definitely a bonus if somebody is there to have your back. I love that. Obviously, you're a good father. The kids absolutely love you. It doesn't annoy me at all that Ollie prefers you over me. I'm like, rude. I carried you for 9 months. But anyway, and you're just always trying to improve. You make my life easier. I can go on and on. You're hot.
You don't need to go on and on. Thank you. I love you.
So I love you too. So listeners, I hope you got something out of this show. Go tell your loved one that you love them if you have one. Go tell yourself that you love you, because I don't think we do that enough. What do you love about yourself? And when you love yourself, everything else in your life improves. And I feel like that's why our relationship got stronger too, is because I began to love myself and therefore got more confident and started finding other things in life that brought me happiness. So if that is you, keep working on yourself. And remember, you guys, do you want to say it, the ending line?
You can say it.
You got this. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you love this episode, make sure you are subscribed so you know when more episodes come available. My goal is to inspire others to become their vision, and one way to get the word out is with reviews. I would really appreciate it if you left an honest review on iTunes, and it would mean so much to me. Thanks again, and remember to go after the life you want. Bye, guys.